Hello students. Yesterday we had our writing lesson, and we had the writing lesson divided into two classes. Now in these two classes we basically talked about, first of all, the comparison between handwritten and typing messages, and then we had something to deal with linking the idea of advertisements, which is the whole unit, and writing about it concerning schools. So we have here the first question: do you support advertising at school? Why or why not? So we were asked to write about the reasons why advertising in schools is a good or a bad idea. And we were asked to form our essay into a kind of a letter that is directed to an editor. Now we talked about the difference between the expository essay, and also we have here the persuasive essay, which we did. And after that we have here all the tips that we were given before we started writing the essay, which led to a complete form of an idea, starting with this kind of graph. We just divided our ideas and we wrote some vocabulary concerning each idea and some notes. And after that we formed the complete essay that we have here. Now, after that we have here the lessons that are learned. Now, what did you learn when we talked about the benefits or the advantages of advertisements at school? Now, we can say if schools allowed advertisements, the students will be connected to the society. And we can also say if students are connected to the society, they learn more. Now, if you see these two statements here, let's just go back and see the first one. If schools allowed advertisements, the students will be connected to the society. And as a result, we have here the second one. If students are connected to the society, they will learn more. Now, you can see in both sentences that we have here, we have the starting, or we have the word if. Now, we do have the word if to show us either the cause or the result. So we are going to connect, and we do know that if in general, it is used for conditional sentences. So this is going to be our lesson for the day. We are going to start with our lesson, which is the form, meaning, and function lesson that we have here. Now, we have reached about the end of our unit. We are exactly here, the form, meaning, and function lesson. So we are going to start with our objectives, which is to first deduct the tense forms from examples. Number 2, to form sentences using the conditional forms. Number 3, to differentiate between conditional forms. And number 4, to use words connected to shopping in sentences. So we're going to start, first of all, going back to the idea of conditional sentences and using the word if in this sentence. Now, it is very close to the grammar lesson where we had the kind of adverb clauses. We had the division between clauses here. We said that there is the main clause and also there is the adverb clause. So it is very close to what we are going to do now in our lesson. A conditional sentence is composed to two parts, so this is not new. Now, we do know that we have here now the if clause, because I just mentioned the if, and we have here, of course, the main clause. So instead of using the conjunction, or we have here the adverb clause, we are going to talk about the if clause with the main clause. So just to remind you about the same idea, we have here an example. Now we have the complete sentence, one sentence. If it rains tomorrow, we will not come. You can see that we have here the if clause and we have here the main clause. And just to check that you are aware of the difference between a dependent clause and an independent clause here. So we have here the same idea in the adverb clauses and also in if clauses. We are going to just imagine that we have a kind of a chat in our phones. So just imagine that you have received a text message from someone, and this person just wrote for you, if it rains tomorrow. So if you just receive this message, if it rains tomorrow, here you would feel that there is something missing. So since there is no complete idea here, or there's no complete message, this is going to be the dependent clause. And you can see that there is the if, which means that we have here if clauses. They are dependent clauses as well. On the other hand, we have here, if we just wrote, we will not come. So just imagine that you just received this text, which is we will not come. You have received a complete idea, a complete meaning here, which means that we have here the independent clause. And together, if it rains tomorrow, we will not come. We have a complete sentence, complete meaning, and we have here the if clause. It supports the main clause in the sentence. So we do know that we have here the if clause is going to be the dependent clause here. We are going to move now to the types of conditional sentences. So we are going to see, we have here first, there are types of conditional sentences. They are classified according to their specific implications. So what do I mean? What am I talking about? We can see here, for example, but each type of conditional sentences uses different tenses to show the difference in their implications. So here, in this part, we understand that we have here that there are different sentences, and from these different tenses, we understand or we can know the difference in the implications. So we are going to move on with our examples. We are going to start, first of all, with the zero conditional. Now, just put in mind that we are dealing with something that is zero. So we have here the zero conditional is a structure used for talking about general truths. Now, for example, if I just take any kind of pen or any object and throw it in the air, this object will immediately fall to the ground. So is there a chance for this object to fly? No. So we have here, there is no possibility at all that any kind of object will fly. So this means that we have here zero possibility for this to happen. Now this is something that we can just put in mind here. We are talking about general truths or facts in general. Things which always happen under certain conditions. So when you say that we have here the sun rises, we have here the moon appears at night, these are general truths, these are facts. So as we deal with these facts, we have here these general truths. When I use them with if, there is zero possibility for anything else to happen. So when I use if with zero conditionals, we use the same verb form in each part of a zero conditional. We use the simple present tense, which means we have understood that we have two clauses, the if clause and also the main clause. We can see that the if clause here is used with the subject and the simple present verb. The main clause is also used with the subject and the simple present verb. So just to make it very clear here, we can see that we are talking about universal truths or facts in general. We are using the present tense in both clauses, both parts. We have here the examples. Now the first clause, if you heat water to 100 degrees centigrade, it boils. So you can see that we have here the if clause and the main clause, and both of them have the present simple. If you heat, it boils. So depending on what is the pronoun here, we decide either to add the s or not add it, but they are still present simple, both of them. Now you can see that in the other example, we switched or rearranged the sentence, which is the same as we did in the adverb clauses, but we still have the same idea or the same meaning. So we can say, ice melts if you heat it. Now you can see that ice melts, this is the main clause, there is a fact, and it is in the present simple. If you heat it, we have here the if clause, and also we used heat, which is the present simple. So we have here the zero conditional. The zero conditional depends on talking about facts or truths in general. When we use the zero conditional, concerning if, of course, we have two clauses, and in both clauses, we use the present simple. Now moving on, With these kind of conditional sentence, I can use when instead of if. So I can replace here. So instead of saying when you or if you press the button, the washing machine turns off, I'm going to say when you press the button, the washing machine turns off, and you can see that there is no difference. So use when in place of if to talk about general truths. So put in mind that we are still talking about general truths. We are going to use the present tense. There's nothing that has changed. And we have here also the second example, water boils when it reaches 100 degrees centigrade, instead of saying water boils if it reaches 100 degrees. Now you can see that it is the same meaning, nothing changes. So it's just a matter of replacing. Now moving on, we have the second type. We talked about the zero conditional, and you can see here that we have the first conditional. Now the first conditional here is a structure used for talking about possibilities in the present or in the future. So we can give this possibility in the present, or it can be concerning something in the future. Now put in mind that there are possibilities. So we are talking about things that may happen. They may happen, they may not. So when there is a possibility, you know that there is a difference between the zero conditional. Because the zero conditional, it is something that is a fact, it is a truth. There is zero possibility. But in the first conditional, there is a kind of possibility here. Now, what is the difference also in structure? We have here the meaning. I want to see also the structure. Now, the first conditional, we use different verb forms in each part of a first conditional. The simple present tense and the future. So how? We can see in the if clause, we use if plus the subject plus the simple present verb, which is like the zero conditional. But we do have the main clause here. And with the main clause, instead of using the simple present, we are going to use the future. So we have here the subject plus the future verb. Now for examples here, let's just agree that we are talking about a present or a future possibility. It is a probable case. And we have here the tense, the if clause plus the present tense, and we have here the main clause plus the future tense. Our examples: if I feel sick, I will not attend the meeting. You can see that if I feel, present simple, which applies to what we are saying. And in the main clause plus the future, you can see in the example that we have here, I will not attend the meeting. I will not attend. And the other example is the same as well. We have here, the match will be canceled if it rains tomorrow. So we just rearrange the sentence. We have here if is in the middle of the sentence. And I remind you that we have here the comma is the same idea as we have in the adverb clauses. If is at the beginning of the sentence, you do have your comma, but if it is in the middle, you do not need the comma. So we can see that we have here the match will be canceled. This is the main clause. And we have here if it rains, simple present in the if clause. Now also we have something else. As we used when with the zero conditional, here I can use conditional sentences with unless. You can use the word unless in place of if, but put in mind they have to be in negative sentences. So the same idea I can replace, but I have to make sure if I am using unless that there is a negative meaning in the sentence. Now we have our examples. Unless I study hard, I won't get top marks. I will not or I won't, which is the negative form of will not. And the second one, unless you exercise, you probably won't lose weight. Now you can see that also we have here the negative in the second sentence. So it's the same idea. I am using the present simple with if. I am using the future in the main clause, but I am using the negative as well. Now we are going to add some simple addition here, we have here using might or may that may be used with if. So we have in the sentence, if you did not invite Muna personally, she might not come. And we do have another example. You may retake the exam if the teacher agrees to give you a second chance. Now, in the first example, the second event is not certain to happen if the event in the if clause happens. And in the second example, the second event is certain to happen if the event in the if clause happens. So here we do have a matter of possibility. Now we're using might or may. In either ways, there is a possibility for something to happen or not happen. So we are going to combine the idea of the possibility and use it with the conditional sentence here, which is using with if. So now you understand that we are giving possibility, either it happens or not, and with the condition that we have in if. So just reading the example here again, we have the first one, if you did not invite Muna personally, she might not come. So there is a possibility that here, Muna, she might not come. We have the if, which is a condition, and we have the possibility in might. In the second one, we have here, you may retake the exam, which is a possibility that can happen if the teacher agrees to give you a second chance. So you can see that there is the condition and if the teacher gives you a second chance, and of course there is the possibility for something to happen. Now we can see that you may retake gives a positive meaning that something will occur, and she might not come gives a negative meaning that something will not happen. So we have here the two modals here, might and may, that can be used with the if clauses here or the if sentences in general. Now we can add something else. So since we are talking about will in the future, and we did mention something about won't, that is the negative part, we are going to add also would, which is in the past tense. So we have here would is the past of will. Now we are going to use this form as well, but here I am going to use it with either rather or prefer. So when I am talking of what I would rather do or I'd prefer to do, I can see that I can first of all shorten. Instead of saying I would, I'm going to say I'd. And we have here the I apostrophe D here. It would give you the meaning that you would prefer to do something. So it is actually dealing with the personal preference here. So we have the sentences. A, would you prefer to go shopping or stay at home? B, I'd rather go shopping. A, I'd prefer to stay home. I don't want to spend all my money. So in the two examples, we have here, I'd rather go shopping or I'd prefer to stay at home. We have here the shortened version of I would that can be used. And you do know now that if I am going to use prefer or rather in the sentence, I have to turn will here in the past. Now, since we are talking about shopping here, which is our basic idea that we have here in Unit 5, which is, do you really need it? We are going to just go back to the topic in general. Now, what do you prefer? Do you prefer or would you rather go to shopping malls? So when you want to go shopping, would you rather go to shopping malls in general? Or we can say here, or would you rather go to small stores? So some people, they would prefer to go shopping malls, and other people, they feel that they are too noisy. So we have here, they would prefer to go to small stores. And other people, some people prefer shopping online. So do you think it is true or not? Do you agree here? Now we have here the three types. There are actually words connected with shopping habits. Some words connected with different ways of shopping are. We can see that we have here the three types, and we have here words that are connected. We can see that we have here shopping mall. Now, dealing with shopping malls here or connected to them here, we can see that there is a wide range of products, discounts, food courts, entertainment and luxury. Words connected with small stores are friendly service, neighborhood, helpful staff, appealing atmosphere, and convenient location. Words connecting with online shopping, convenient, door-to-door delivery, fast, wide range of products, and pay by card. And when they mention fast here, they do mean that it is fast to just open your device and quickly choose whatever product you want. So just to apply them in sentences, we're going to give examples here. Small neighborhood stores offer a friendly personal service. Luxurious shopping malls provide entertainment, food, and good discounts on products. Online shopping is becoming more and more popular as it's convenient, fast, and you can pay by credit card. So we can see here, what do they mean by the word fast? So we have here, these words are connected and related to shopping, which is also related to advertisements and what we have in Unit 5 in general. Do you really need it? Now you can see from the lesson that we have here in the form, meaning, and function that we dealt with meaning, and we have here the form and function dealing with the if conditionals, and we know that we have here 0 conditional sentences, we have first conditional sentences, we know when to use when or unless with these sentences, and when can we use also may and might in the sentence. So as an outline for our lesson, we did learn to use different conditional forms in sentences. We also connected words to the shopping or to shopping in general in sentences. And we have here, we formed sentences combining between the new vocabulary and structures, which you are going to do and we are going to apply together in our project in the next lesson, inshallah. So be ready.